do this.
Hello viewers and welcome back to Atomic Comms. That is I, Paul Photon Davidson, and now I'll be talking about the new Video Game Awards ceremony that happened just a few hours ago. But specifically am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to be talking about some of the new Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild footage that was shown off today. Quite a bit of stuff about the game was seen today, with some new areas having been shown, some new NPCs being shown, and a couple of story details also being revealed. It was quite interesting, and yeah, so we're going to talk about that. I'm going to try to do an analysis and see what we can get from it. So now we start off with the piano, which has pretty much become a pretty iconic part of Breath of the Wild's development, you know, because now every time I hear this kind of, you know, soothing piano piece, I just think of Breath of the Wild. I'll never be able to listen to pianos again without thinking of Zelda. Then we got a new bridge. There was a person walking there. NPCs and some wildlife, a little doggy. And got this nice little, I want to say Hawaiian looking village, but this doesn't look very tropical. And we got boat, bird, airship. And we finally get to see these little spider walkers in game and in action. And this is this mysterious woman that's being teased. Looks a lot like Link, at least from clothing perspective. Sparkly Link, and now we see them together. I don't know who the heck that woman probably could be. I want to say that's probably either Impa, or could be the in-game Zelda, or whatever. And here we see the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U together. Together at last, one big happy Nintendo family. Even though nobody's probably going to buy it for Wii U. I'll buy it for Wii U, just because I want to get them both and to compare them and all. But yeah, so that was a pretty interesting trailer. Showed off a lot of different environments and some stuff we've never really seen before. So yeah, there's definitely quite a number of things to take from it. Just seeing all the different man-made structures, being able to see, like, yeah, we're gonna have some villages, a pretty large village, honestly. That nice looking bridge kind of reminds me of the bridge of Eldon from Twilight Princess. And we also got to see some other technology, because Breath of the Wild has really been teasing and having this consistent theme of having like futuristic technology be in the game. You know, you got those arrows that can transform and have electrical properties to them, and then we have the walkers that are all over the place, and now we got that airship thing, and I don't know if that the person that was flying, like, that was those are actual natural wings, which I'll actually get into that a bit later with the next video we're going to talk about. And then, of course, we also see that woman that is being teased, which, like I said, could be Zelda, could be Impa, could be the woman that talks to you in the beginning of the game. Like, the very first thing that you hear is the lady voice acting. And could be her. But yeah, it was nice to see all these new environments, because pretty much so far all we've really seen is the grass field of, like, I guess, Hyrule Field. And a couple of the little shrines that you see all over the place. But it was nice to see some, you know, new environmental pieces and some new gameplay, and get to see some of the NPCs and all that, just to show you that the world is pretty much alive. But that was not the only thing about Breath of the Wild that was shown off today at the Video Game Awards, as we also had a bit of a gameplay segment with Bill Trinen and Nate Bildorf, that is his actual last name, playing through a new environment, a tropical forest, it looks like, trying to access a temple. And yeah, they're just doing a little bit of commentary over it, and now we're going to see what we can get out of it. And yeah, so here we're getting a little bit of an introduction from AJ Anuma, the producer of the game. And here's Bill and Nate introducing themselves. Here at the nice Nintendo treehouse, and this is actually the thing I was talking about with the winged person. Not sure if these are the same people. I don't think they're the same person because their body types are a bit different, but I think this is a new, this might be a new species. Or this could be like the bird people, an alternate version of the bird people from Wind Waker. But he's playing an accordion, which is kind of a homage to the guy in the windmill from Ocarina of Time. He played music as well. Supposed to be singing a song where the lyrics give you hints to where the next temple is. And they're just exploring the ruins here as Link. And we see some new enemies. This is actually a part where you see a bunch of new chameleon-like enemies. Which makes me think there might be some factions going on here. And look at that physics. Jeez, and we see all these new clothing. There's going to be a lot to do in this game. Just looking over what I'm seeing right here.
Yeah, right there at the serpent's head.
I bet we go into that cave.
Jeez, exploring the whole thing.
Oh man, that one's done.
Yeah, some more electrical abilities. I ended up just dying. I think it's hilarious how there's like ragdoll physics whenever Link dies. Because playing it at E3, whenever he fell down the cliff, like he just turned into a freaking ragdoll.
A bunch of guys with
His limbs did not care. You die, your limbs will, who cares? Your limbs are going wherever the hell they want. Yeah, these are chameleon enemies, which kind of threw me off later on in a later segment of the video here.
Anything else?
Yeah, we have this giant.
That's where they're trying to go.
Into the mouth of the beast you go.
They're approaching, and we're going to be seeing some attackers right about now. Yep, there they are. Kind of threw me off the first time when I was watching this. And here's we got this nice little Matrix slow-mo attack where Link moves at the speed of light compared to everybody else.
No problem, no problem.
He's just that skilled of a swordsman.
Throw that. There you go. Boom. And
once again, we see him taking up the enemy's weapons and using them to his own advantage.
Look at these evil eyes.
So
I'm gonna start this guy.
This Sheikah Slate is like one of the awesomest things I've ever seen in a Zelda game. It was awesome to use it at E3. And here we see a demonstration of the game's AI, just seeing how it walks around and walks away, trying to avoid the bombs. Like that's not very innovative in terms of the gaming industry itself. Like we have games that have been doing that for years, but in terms of like Zelda, actually I can't even say that because I remember Skyward Sword had that. And I think even Twilight Princess had some pretty smart enemies in those games.
There we go. I think this you can see that we're no.
We need to save a few surprises.
It's right there.
It is right there. It's so close.
There's something awesome.
Where might they be headed? They're just going on up ahead.
I think we're gonna end our shrine.
They're
quest
teasing
here.
us. You jerks.
Everyone is looking forward to the
You're terrible people, Bill and Nate. I don't even know who you are, Nate.
Both Wii U and the
Hey, Bildorf is that? I can't say that to them. Bill and Nate are cool.
Thank you.
They're major people in Nintendo of America. And there we go. Learning quite a bit. So yeah, this is not the first time they ever showed off Breath of the Wild at the Video Game Awards ceremony. Last time that was in the 2014 event, where honestly I found that one to be a bit more informative, but that was mostly because we barely heard anything about the game at that point. Because really, you can't do much with these types of videos. I mean, you can analyze them and speculate on them just by looking really deep into whatever footage you can get. But with a game like this, you really gotta try playing it yourself. Like, I really cannot wait till this game comes out, because once I get this game, this is probably gonna be a game I'm just gonna stick with, especially if I'm gonna get both versions, like I said. Because I do want to get both versions, mostly for comparison reasons, and also because it was originally a Wii U game. And now it's looking like the Nintendo Switch might be getting a more definitive version. So, yeah, it's honestly looking really cool so far. And while I did like the 2014 presentation just a bit more, this one was pretty awesome too. So now let's have a little bit of an analysis. Let's get our game explained on and look into what we've seen here. So we've seen quite a bit of Breath of the Wild already, at least for the most part, but there are some things that were shown off in the trailers that kind of caught my interest. For this one thing, we're looking at this footage here. We see not one but two people fighting against some of these moblins, and neither one of them look like Link, so I'm starting to think that some of the NPCs might get in on the combat, unless that's just a cutscene or something like that. But I thought that was kind of interesting that, you know, we have other people fighting in real time. You know, it's not just a cutscene, you know. Then again, like I said, it could be a cutscene, but there's people in real time fighting the same enemies we would be fighting, so that kind of caught my eye. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the NPCs, and to be more specific, I'm talking about the bird creatures that we saw, like the one with the accordion, and also the one that we saw in that what is possibly a cutscene. Now, why am I focusing on these two? I seriously think that they might have some pretty important plot relevance. That is depending on if they're the same species, which now I'm looking at it, probably not, but I think it's interesting that we have two really distinct looking avian creatures here. One on the left kind of reminds me of Falco. Yeah, but they're clearly not the same type of bird, since the one on the left is probably like kind of crow-like, whereas the one on the right is more like a macaw. But yeah, like I said, the reason why I'm focusing on these guys is because later on in the trailer, we also see this other bird-like structure, which is that aircraft that the bird on the left flies through. And it seems to be a pretty dramatic cutscene, so I'm wondering if these guys will have any kind of influence on the story. And also, I'm looking at now, the bird on the left seems to have the same garment, or at least like his scarf seems to be made of the same material, or at least has a similar design to Link's shirt that he has. It's blue, same kind of the same shade of blue, has the white shapes on it. So I don't know, kind of makes me think that they might be involved somehow. So I don't know, I'm probably just nitpicking on this at this point, but it's just a thing I wanted to point out. So the next thing I want to talk about is the fight against the spider walker creatures that are there in the grassy field, which kind of reminds me of the initial reveal trailer for Breath of the Wild all the way back in E3 2014. Here we see not one but two walkers. Both seem to be activated, so I'm assuming they're both going to be attacking you at the same time. They stay in the same area. They still have the lasers. But yeah, it looks like they're kind of they're amping up the threat level of these guys now that you're going to be fighting multiple ones at the same time, most likely. But yeah, we still have Link riding on Epona, still using his bow and arrow, and so yeah, it's just interesting to get to see these things finally in real time in actual gameplay, because when we originally saw them, I'm assuming it was just a pre-rendered, you know, little scene that Nintendo fixed up just to, you know, show what Breath of the Wild would possibly end up looking like and all that stuff. So that was actually pretty interesting to get to actually see them in action, and to see that we're probably gonna have to fight multiple ones at the same time. So now I'm just gonna be talking about story details and stuff, because there's not much else gameplay that they really showed off. It's pretty straightforward. But now we're gonna be talking about that weird old lady that was seen in at least twice in the trailer. She's got long flowing blonde hair, blue garment. I guess her clothes really don't look that similar to Link's, but I guess the blue just stands out. It just reminds me of Link's garments that he was wearing in the reveal trailer and in regular gameplay. But she's holding something, and they're pretty much just hiding her face, just hiding who the heck this could possibly be. Could be a new character because never really see because at this point the only character I can really see this being is Zelda because of the long blonde hair. Because no one else really has that kind of hair aside from Link, who obviously doesn't have that kind of hairstyle, and we actually know what he looks like and all. But this could possibly be Zelda. This could possibly be a brand new character that we have never seen before, which would be pretty interesting. I mean, they introduce new characters all the time in Zelda, but I don't know. The fact that they're kind of making, because it's obviously a woman. Then again, I wouldn't know because Nintendo kind of sucks at designing female characters. And I mean, look at freaking Link Between Worlds. I seriously thought that the main villain of that game was female. Turned out to be male, but then again, I don't know. I digress. Again, I'm just talking about this particular character because they're putting so much emphasis on her, and obviously she's going to have some sort of story importance. So you have to look forward to a few more updates about that. And the one last thing I want to bring up that is also story related, of course, is the last few scenes that we see in the trailer, where we have what I can only assume is Hyrule Castle, and then later on we cut to some ruins, which makes me think that those are possibly the castle town that you would see in like Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. The castle itself looks like it's out of the Twilight Princess era. And then following on with that, Castle Town possibly looks pretty much the same. Has a fountain there, I could tell. It's like pretty much everything within the vicinity of the castle, which you were able to see in the demo, the E3 demo. There's actually a whole cutscene that revolves around it. But you're able to see it, and this just looks like the immediate surrounding area of it, and it's all corrupted and evil and just looks totally messed up. So I'm thinking that's a pretty important area. And then there's also the scene which has Link standing there, in which I assume are the same ruins, with a little sparkly thing around him, which I don't know what that's supposed to do. Looks like a cutscene, an important cutscene, where maybe he gets powered up or something like that, but ends up cutting to another scene of the mysterious woman character, and that's all she wrote. So today was a pretty interesting day for those who are curious and hyped about Breath of the Wild, and that's pretty much all the details I'm really going to try going over, because I've been looking over the Bill and Nate video itself, and not much else really to see there aside from the new enemies, which can't really garner a whole lot out of that. But for what they've shown off, I'm definitely a lot more curious about the game than I was before. You know, I'm glad I actually looked a little bit more into both of the trailers and videos, and yeah, can't wait for whenever the game is supposed to come out. Which reason why I'm saying that is because even in the Bill and Nate video, it says that there is no real confirmed release date. They just say it's coming out 2017, which pretty much confirms the rumor that Breath of the Wild is not going to be a launch title for the Nintendo Switch, which is kind of sad because they've pretty much been making the game for like 3 or 4 years at this point. But hey, you can't rush perfection. The game is pretty awesome. It looks awesome as is right now, so it can only get it better from here. And it's Nintendo we're talking about. They usually try to perfect all their stuff. Now, whether it ends up perfect or not and comes in good graces with the players, that's up for us to decide. But what the heck ever. So I'm going to end it here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this little review and analyzation of the new Breath of the Wild footage that we've gotten. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the Video Game Awards ceremony. And I hope to be making a few more videos very soon. I'm actually going to be attending the PlayStation Expo convention this weekend. Hope to get some footage of some new games and all that stuff. Yes, I know I'm going to be playing PlayStation games and showing off PlayStation stuff. But heck, trying to broaden my horizons, and it just happens to be in my area anyway, so thought why not. So expect the video of that to be coming up very soon, along with some other Nintendo Switch videos and other videos involving Breath of the Wild, along with some new Let's Play videos as well. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for coming. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be seeing you on the flip side. Have a good one.